Hello, my name is Oliver Kirkeby. I'm a mild moderate special education credential student at Azusa Pacific University. Today I'm going to give a tutorial regarding the Woodcock-Johnson 3rd edition, Riverside Publishing 2001. I um, I borrowed a Woodcock-Johnson test kit from the library at APU, and I'm going to show you all the different items that are in that test kit. And first, the two most important items in the test kit are the two training manuals. One's a little bit smaller, right here. It's hard to read, I'm sure. And the second one is Tests of Cognitive Abilities Examiner's Manual. If you've never given an assessment before, these manuals are priceless to help you understand the technical difficulties that go along with giving a Woodcock-Johnson or maybe a Wyatt assessment for students that are referred to special education. Some of the context in these training manuals are basal and ceiling rules, computing the raw score, obtaining estimated age and grade equivalent scores, building examiner competency, that's why we have the manuals, practice exercises, answer key to practice exercises, Woodcock-Johnson 3 general test observations checklist. All of the items I just mentioned are very important to cover. The basal and ceiling rules are different for almost each test in this booklet. Some tests require that a student have 4 correct answers in a row and 4 incorrect answers in a row to end the test, 4 correct answers to begin the test. On other shorter tests here, you might just have to get a certain amount out of 40 to get your score, and there's no basal or ending point. You just start at 1 and you go to 40. That'll be for the test I will show you today. This is an audio tape that comes with the test kit. For some of the tests in this booklet, it's required that the student listen to a tape and then memorize a certain amount of words and then express those words back to the instructor, and the instructor marks down how many they earned correct. Another important item in the test kit is this CD for computer software, and this helps you record data that you gain from giving the assessment. Here is your grading report form. It's kind of small. You may give all the assessments or you may give part of the assessments. It depends on the needs of each student. So the very first page of your grading booklet is the identifying information of your student, and then test session observations checklist. Some examples of that would be level of cooperation. Did the student cooperate 100% of the time, or did the student not cooperate at all during the entire assessment? You have to mark that down. Did the student show high concentration? Did the student show self-confidence? That's just the starting here, your basic information. And for my test that I'm going to show you today, right here, the assessor doesn't mark down as the student goes along how many they earn correctly. Those answers will be in a test booklet that the student has to write down on. This test kit does not have one, but I made a small example to show you what they might see. For this test that I'm showing you, test 16, decision speed, you need a stopwatch to time them for 3 minutes. You're going to write down how long it took them to complete the test. If they go over 3 minutes, you just mark down that they went 4 minutes, 53 seconds, for example. If they did 3 minutes, wonderful. And then we write down the number correct, 0 to 40. So there's no basal or ending point. It's just they do all 40 questions. Okay. All right, so I'm going to read this, the first few pages out of this test and show you how you would go about that. So where you are on the computer is where the student would be, and you want them to clearly be able to see this side. They have a test booklet in front of them, so this is blank. There aren't any questions in this area. So I wanted to add that when you're reading the directions page on this side for the assessor, there's text that are in different colors, and the color you want to only read to the student is the blue text. All of the other text is for your help, to help you, guide you while you're going through the assessment. So, administration overview. This test has a 3-minute time limit. This is just what you read to yourself so you know how to give the assessment. You will need a stopwatch or a watch. If you are not using a stopwatch, note the exact starting time in minutes and seconds. Give the subject exactly 3 minutes to complete as many items as possible. If the finishing time is not exactly 3 minutes, record the exact finishing time in minutes and seconds, and so on and so forth. Scoring, 1 point for each correctly identified pair. Use the Decision Speed scoring guide to score this test. Each test has a unique way of scoring and a little variation. Starting point, all subjects begin with sample item A. Like I said before. All right, so on this page, all of the blue writing you are going to read to the student. So I'm going to read all that blue writing so you can see how it would feel and what you would hear. A lot of times you cannot repeat the blue writing to the student. You have to leave them in the wind to to figure out the situation on their own so that you have a fair scoring system. So I would say, I want you to find out how fast you can find two things that either go together or are most alike. A, look at the first row of pictures. And then the writings for me, run your finger across first row on subject's page. And it would be there right in front of them. More blue writing. There are 2 cats in that row. Draw a circle around each cat. B, now look at the second row of pictures. Draw a circle around the 2 things that go together. You should draw a circle around this shoe, point, and this shoe, and then you point again. Those were 2 examples to warm the student up. They would see something like this. So in their test booklet, I'd run my finger across, and there's a door, there's a shoe, there's a cup, there's a bear, there's a car, there's another bear. The 2 bears look a little bit different in their expression. However, the question asked them, circle 2 items that are most similar in the row of items presented, and you can see the 2 bears are the most similar. Now try these. Find the 2 things in each row that go together. Do them as fast as you can. And so they're moving as fast as they can through this timed assessment. The teacher's given all the correct answers, so you have 2 horses, 2 cats, 2 pencils, 2 balls, 2 fish, 2 dresses, 2 dolls, 2 trees, things like that. And then this assessment was very short. It was just 4 or 5 pages. Thank you so much for listening today.